Is it GameStop's time to shine once more? We're going to take a look at that along with what's going on with Bitcoin here and the trade war that seems to be getting worse, but equities don't seem to be responding to that as harshly as they were last week. So we're going to take a look at a couple of different things here in this Friday afternoon video. So first of all, let's go over to Unusual Whales on X. And let's scroll down here. You can see, let's see, GameStop has been having tons of options activity recently after Unusual Whales disclosed the 31, 32, 33 columns on May 16th. So that was yesterday. It came out yesterday. We got 7-day highs on premiums at the $25 call specifically, and there is someone holding 5,000 calls out there that is still holding, and there is suspicion that that is Roaring Kitty coming back to this space. And as a result of that, let's go look at the GME chart. It's going to take a little second to load here. Let's take a look at the GME chart. Yeah, since that, we've been coming out of this dive here down to $20, and we are all the way back up to $26. Now, the last time he got involved here, we had this spike back here that took us from $11 all the way up to about $65, $66. So that could happen again. And if you're positioned now, you might be able to benefit from that. And now with the Bitcoin allotment in terms of them talking about purchasing Bitcoin and approving their purchase for Bitcoin. They haven't, as far as I know, haven't purchased any Bitcoin yet, but they are approved to do so. And they've got lots of money on the balance sheet to do it with. Since then, they have been moving in lockstep with Bitcoin. Look at this. So Bitcoin was up 5.36% today, and GME was up 5.52% today. So they are moving together right now as a result of that connection between the two now. And then if you factor in the potential return of Roaring Kitty to this trade again, and you've got yourself a good old meme short squeeze coming through on the GameStop once more. Now, of course, nothing I say is financial advice and not a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. Do your own research, come to your own conclusions. Don't take any risk you're not able to take. This is one of those plays that if you can't let it go to zero, you probably shouldn't consider it. But don't let me tell you what to do. You make that decision. Anyways, I've purchased a few call options that go out until July. I bought the $30 and $35 on that one with the expectation that this high back here from January 7th, 2025, we could return to that, which is about 34.50-ish in that range. And if we were to do that, I would profit handsomely. And if we were to get the squeeze that sent us up into the 60s, I would be doing exceptionally well. So I'm going to be going for that type of trajectory right now. We can see that we were in this channel right here. I'll draw it. We were in this channel right here for a while. We just broke out of that. Now, we did do a single day breakout of that in the past before back in mid-March. That collapsed, and that could happen to us once more. Absolutely could. But we'll see. That did a nice old island reversal. This one seems a little more measured and controlled on the move up. So I'm not as concerned about it, but it absolutely could happen, and if it did, we come back down to this line likely, which would be bound around $19, which would completely wipe out any calls that I have. So now that could happen. So that's why I say if you're not able to lose 100% of that positioning, I would be very careful with it or not do it. So take that into consideration when you think about what you're going to do here. Anyways, that's what I'm actually more interested in GME than in GameStop than the miners at this point in time, simply because it is off of its lows. It has got the catalyst of being connected to Bitcoin as well as Roaring Kitty now, and that is making it into a prime momentum play if that second one turns out to be true. If Roaring Kitty posts anything about GameStop, you better believe it's going to pop off pretty dramatically. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin coming back here from the ashes today. We thought that it was going to dipped back into the 70s for a short period of time, and that got a little bit concerning, a little bit scary, but it has found its footing. It did not go down nearly as much as many of the other equities did, or as many of the equities did, the stocks, and it is holding its own quite well. Now, it's not as good as like gold, and we'll look at gold here in a moment, but we are trying to get out of this descending channel here. We're getting pretty close to come to the top of it. I don't know where my channel went. Why am I missing my channel? I know that there was a channel here. Where did it go? Doesn't matter. I'll draw a new one. So this little channel right about here, we were in here for a good while, and we're getting close to the top of it, which is also the 50-day moving average at 85,649. We get above that, well, then we're going to start coming out of this channel here and start working our way up towards that $100,000 mark once more. There it is. Okay, so let me get rid of that. There it is. My channel was there. Yeah, we're right up on the top of the channel here. We're going to likely get out of it and we're going to get above the 50-day moving average with this type of momentum. Now, I am also looking at the volume down here. I like that this volume is below the average volume. That's usually when we are climbing. If you notice back here, from February 25th all the way until March 11th, volume was constantly spiking above the average, and look what was happening. We were falling, 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 and then volume started falling beneath the average. And what was happening when volume was beneath the average? We were climbing, climbing, climbing. So volume beneath the average for the last couple of days, if that can hold, we can do a nice controlled climb. And then the next time we see volume going above, well, then you better believe it's going to likely come back down again, probably to retest the top of this channel when it does that. Okay. What else was pretty good today? MicroStrategy was looking pretty good today, 10% up, back in lockstep with being double what Bitcoin is. So that's good. We've got some Bitcoin miners that did decently well today, but I'm going to cover those tomorrow on the weekly closes video. So I'm not going to talk about them right now. There's too many of them and I don't have time. NVIDIA had a nice move all the way down into the mid 80s the other day. That was really a nice buying opportunity. I did make some money selling some cash secure puts down there, and I sold them for basically full profit here when it went up a couple days later, and I haven't gotten back in yet, but I am looking for. So we got like this pin bar right here, right? Let me turn these off. Here on yesterday, April 10th, we got a bit of a pin bar, kind of a doji pin bar looking candle here, which shows a lot of buying pressure beneath 107. So if we dip back down in there, and I do think that there's a chance we could dip back down in there because we got this whole big body of a candle to work within from 114 all the way down to $98. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this come back down into the low 100s, maybe tap the midline of this box right here, which would be the middle point for the high and low of yesterday, April 10th, that midpoint being 105. I wouldn't be surprised to see it come down towards there and then curve back up. Because if we get a failure right where the price is right now, that's the middle of this big descending channel, right? This huge descending channel that I've got here, that'd be the midline. If we fail there, I would expect it to retrace. Maybe even if we're really lucky, maybe it'll come back down to about 93, and I could pick up a handsome amount of shares down there and have it come right back up to the 50, and maybe this time crack the 50 and come back all the way to the top of this ascending channel here. But if you notice last time it did that too, right? Like right here, I'll draw it. We went from the top of the channel, we came down, we went to the middle of the channel, piddled around a little bit, and then came back down to the bottom of the channel. We're coming to the middle of the channel right now, and the choice is, do we come back down to the bottom, or do we squiggle around and go to the top? Those are our choices. And if we squiggle around the middle long enough, we end up back at 105 again within a week or two. And then we move our way back up into the 120s. And once we get back into the 120s, we're in positive gamma. And once we're in positive gamma, we are just rolling on up from there. So I'm watching that for NVIDIA. And I like NVIDIA at these prices because if you look at NVIDIA here on the right, compared to AMD and ARM, which are two other semiconductor plays that I like to look at, their prices aren't that different from each other right now. And in my opinion, this is just my opinion, NVIDIA is a better business. And if it's a better business at a similar price, I think I'll be looking at NVIDIA for that move up. AMD got slaughtered though. Oh man, AMD fell into the 70s for a little while there. That was brutal. I got destroyed on an AMD play there because I was expecting it to at least hold the 90s, and it did not. That got me pretty good. Qualcomm's also looking pretty interesting where it is right now. I haven't got it into it yet, but I'm interested. Soxol. Now this one's a 3x levered play, so it is very, 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 very dangerous. If you remember, I was talking about it up here at the $30 level because it was hanging out here, and then it broke that level and then just fell. But if I look at it right now, once I start seeing semiconductors recover, this has a move potentially just to get back where it was, back to the bottom of where it was is 150, 160%. To get back to the peak of that range that it was at is about 260%. So I am watching this. I'm looking for a break of not this line, but this one now. This line right there. I'm looking for it to break that line to the upside. First, this one, right? This first one right here. Let me zoom. First, I want to see it break this one, right here. I want to come up, maybe hit this, come test this, and then break this, test this, and then off we go. That's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something like that structure right there. Make a slightly high, maybe a slightly higher high, fall down to maybe a higher low or a same low, go up, make one more higher high, one more higher low, and then from there, once it's making those higher lows above this line here, well, then I think it's go time potentially. And since it didn't break my call last time, if you remember last time, I was saying back here that when this red shaded area here turns green, it's probably go time, but then immediately after it just dipped and dipped and dipped and dipped and dipped. It did not go green, so it did not give a buy signal. So the fact that I did buy some back then was premature, and I did end up selling those at a loss because I was too early. What I want to see was like something like back here, right? It's red, 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 and then it turns green, does a little pullback once it's green, and boom, and then launches off from there. Now, down here, you're not going to get that because for it to turn green, price has got to go all the way back above $30 real fast. The only reason I'm interested right now is because we got a really fast drop off, like a sharp, sharp drop off in like this crazy tight channel all the way down. And that usually when you see a drop that intense, you see a rise again of a similar intensity. So we are looking for that. What I really want to see, just like with other things, right? Just like I mentioned earlier, look at the volume bars. Look at how high they are above average, right? High, 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 high above average. What we want to see now, right now, what we want to see in conjunction with breaking these lines, right? In conjunction, so in addition to breaking these lines, I want to see it go from being over this medium, this average volume. See, let me zoom in here. I want to see it going from over this average volume, which is that blue line right there. As you can see here, it was over, 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 over. I want to see it close one beneath it. Once it closed one beneath it, well, what happened? Well, it started climbing up. And then the moment that volume went back above it, which was right here, it dropped off again. So be careful in that way. That's what we're watching. I want to see that volume start printing bars beneath the average volume, and that's when I'll know that stability has returned and we can slowly climb our way up. What else is going on? Tesla is interesting in its area here. We got some dojis coming through, so Tesla's content with being around the $250 range as long as we don't get any new shocks in this trade war, which I think are likely coming because there have been reports. Let me see here. Oops, if I spelled it right, it would help. Let's see. Do we have any new? There was something today about the EU and China trying to make agreements here about tariffs. They were talking about having some negotiations. There we go. Yeah, I don't want to see that one. Nope, not that one. Okay, so India. So this one's interesting. This plays into my India idea from before that we're looking at making a deal with India before the 90-day pause is over. Apple says due to the tariffs, MacBooks are going to be about 39% more expensive. I don't want to see that. There was some more news last night. You can see that this morning, 4 a.m., Reuters reported that China raised tariffs on U.S. to 125%. Yeah, which means that the White House supposedly is supposed to clap back with a similar raise, which would take ours to over 200%. We have not heard anything about that yet. There are also reports of China negotiating with the EU about their own trade deal with them, which would be kind of slightly problematic for us, I think, in the U.S. Anyways, I was waiting for this shoe to drop all day. It did not come, so I expect possibly some of that news to come in over the weekend, which could tank us on Monday. So I am still kind of apprehensive about that. Specifically, I am concerned about this news and the White House's response to that because we don't know what it is yet. And when that comes in, I am expecting some turbulence again. Anyways, I think that's all I've got for you today. We're looking at coin as well as Bitcoin holds up. Bitcoin holding up really well. Honestly, I'm very surprised by this. Palantir also holding up pretty well. I am looking at potential like years long holds on some of these, not these that I'm talking about, like Nvidia, I'd be buying for a long hold. Tesla, I'd be buying for a long hold. QQQ, I'd be buying for a long hold. Right now, these are things that I would be looking to hold for multiple years to come because the prices, we don't get catastrophic price movements like this often, and it is important to understand that it's often a generational buying opportunity to find these prices. Like we had the RSI for the weekly on QQQ go under 30. It's only done that a handful of times, and it was always like a catastrophic moment that was eventually fixed, and everything went back to business as usual at some point soon after that. So That's what I'm expecting right now. Of course, nothing I say is financial advice and not a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. This could totally be different this time. Everything could come crashing down to zero. I personally don't think that will happen, but it's always a risk when you're investing. Anyways, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Check out the Trade Cave store, link in the description, as well as the channel bio, and have a profitable day.